Welcome to Motivalish Talks, where motivation meets English learning. Every episode brings you powerful stories, life lessons, and practical tips to help you speak better and live better. Let's get started.
So, you've been studying English for years, right? But you still get that knot in your stomach whenever it's time to actually speak. You know the grammar, you've got the words, but something just isn't clicking. Okay, let's get into this, because today we are breaking down the practical steps to finally get you past that plateau and speaking with real confidence. I mean, does this sound familiar at all? This is a real post from a learner on Reddit, and wow, it just captures a feeling that so many of us have been through. It's that super frustrating gap between what you know in your head and what actually comes out of your mouth. But here's the good news. This is a solvable problem. It has nothing to do with how smart you are and everything to do with your approach. The very first thing we have to do, and this is probably the most crucial step of all, is to completely change our objective. We're going to take that impossible goal of perfection and we're just going to throw it out. We're replacing it with something way more powerful: progress. But let's really look at this definition. Notice what's missing? It says nothing about having a perfect accent, nothing about knowing every single word in the dictionary. You know, even native speakers make mistakes all the time. True fluency is just about communication. It's that feeling when your words flow like a river, letting you share your ideas and connect with people easily. So let's really break this down. Think of it like two different paths. The path to perfection, man, that one is just paved with fear. You're constantly worried about every little mistake, you're translating every single word in your head, and you just freeze. But the path to fluency, that's all about connection. You're focused on getting your message across. You accept that mistakes are just part of the game, and you celebrate the small wins. See the difference? One path leads to paralysis, the other leads straight to progress. Okay, before we even touch on a single speaking exercise, we've got to tackle the biggest obstacle of all, and that's the one that lives right inside our own heads. Winning this inner game is every bit as important as the outer practice. And look at this. This just nails it, right? This insight comes from another learner who had that aha moment and realized their own mind was the biggest barrier. The pressure we put on ourselves to be perfect is the very thing that creates the anxiety we're trying to escape. It's a self-defeating cycle. So how do we actually win this inner game? We do it by making these specific mindset shifts. First, start seeing mistakes as just data. They're crucial for learning. Second, and this is huge, native speakers genuinely do not care about your errors. They're just happy to be talking with you. Third, your English ability is not, I repeat, not a measure of your intelligence. So shift your focus away from perfect grammar and on to the awesome message you have to share. Okay, mind reset. Now it's time to change our environment. We are literally going to build an English world all around you, creating this powerful sense of immersion, and it doesn't matter where you live. This might sound simple, but it is so powerful. Our brains are basically sponges. They're shaped by our environment from the moment we're born. To get fluent, you have to make English a constant sound in your life. The more you hear it, the more you'll start to think in it, and the more effortlessly you'll end up speaking it. You think you need this gigantic vocabulary to be fluent, right? Well, think again. Research shows that this number, just 4,000 of the most common words, is all you really need for the vast majority of your daily conversations. Forget all those obscure words nobody uses. Focus on what matters. This is completely, totally achievable. And here's your starter kit, some super easy ways to get going right now. Find content you already love. I don't care if it's about cooking, video games, or history, and just consume it in English. Make a small but mighty change by switching your phone's language. Fill your commute or your house chores with English podcasts and music. And find your tribe. Online communities on places like Discord or Reddit can be amazing for low-stress practice. All right, mindset? Check. Environment? Check. Now for the really fun part, the actual practice. Let's get tactical and give you a clear blueprint for what you can actually do every single day. Oh, I love this one. This is a fantastic, super simple formula from an English teacher named Tiffany. Instead of giving a short one-sentence answer when someone asks you a question, you give your response some structure. First, you provide your reasons. Then you share a related story. R plus S. It is an absolute game changer for sounding organized and fluent. So let's dig into that R part first. Think of it like making a sandwich. You start with your main point. That's the top piece of bread. Then you provide the meat with a few strong supporting reasons. And finally, you close it out with a summary statement, the bottom piece of bread. This simple framework just instantly makes your answers sound clearer and way more put together.
Next up is the S, the story. And don't panic, you don't have to be a novelist. Stories are how we connect with people. They make you memorable. Just use this as a little guide. Set the scene, build up to the main event, and then share what you learned from it. It turns a simple answer into a really engaging moment.
Okay, so beyond that R+S formula, here are 2 more habits to build into your routine. The first is imitation. You watch a video or listen to a podcast, and then you just record yourself summarizing what you heard. It's a fantastic way to practice new words and sentence structures. And then there's self-talk. Yep, it's exactly what it sounds like. You just talk to yourself out loud in English. It's an amazing way to train your speaking muscles without any pressure at all.
Okay, we've arrived. This is the final level, the master key that unlocks truly spontaneous, natural speech. And that is training your brain to stop translating and start actually thinking in English. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? To just have thoughts appear in English without that slow, clunky translation step in between. You know, when we think in our native language and then translate, that's where all the hesitation and mistakes come from. The key is to make English the default language of your inner monologue. And here's your training plan. This is exactly how you do it. Start a daily journal, just for 10 minutes. Don't worry about perfection, just get your thoughts out. Then, practice thinking out loud when you're home alone. Narrate your actions. Okay, now I'm making a cup of tea. Throughout the day, just describe what's happening around you, to yourself, in English. These small, consistent habits literally retrain your brain to make English its new default.
So let's bring this all home. Fluency isn't some far-off, impossible dream. It's the direct result of changing your mind, building your world, and practicing with a plan. It all starts with one step, one sentence. You have the tools, you have the roadmap. The only question left is, who are you going to have your first conversation with?